Before you hear a word, before you recognize a song, before you even catch the faint whisper of danger, your ear has already done half the work. Today, we're going to travel inside one of the most extraordinary organs in the human body, an organ that converts vibrations in the air into meaning, memory, and movement. Welcome to the anatomy of the human ear. The ear isn't just what you see on the outside. It's a three-part system, each region with its own unique architecture and purpose. Let's start with the outer ear. Think of this as the front door, the entry point for all sound. The part you can see is called the pinna, or auricle. It's made of elastic cartilage and skin, and its intricate curves and folds aren't just for show, they are perfectly shaped to funnel sound waves efficiently. From the pinna, sound travels into the external auditory canal, a tube about 2.5 centimeters long. This canal is lined with tiny hairs and special glands that produce earwax. This combination acts as a protective barrier, trapping dust and microorganisms before they can go any deeper. At the end of this canal, we find the tympanic membrane, more commonly known as the eardrum. It's a thin cone-shaped membrane that marks the boundary between the outer and middle ear. When sound waves hit it, it vibrates, converting the energy from air into mechanical motion. Now we enter the middle ear. Behind the eardrum lies a small air-filled chamber called the tympanic cavity. Inside this space live the three smallest bones in the entire human body, known as the ossicular chain. First is the malleus, or hammer, which is attached directly to the eardrum and feels the vibrations first. It passes these vibrations to the incus, or anvil, the middle bone in the chain. Finally, the incus transfers the motion to the stapes, or stirrup, which is the smallest bone in the human anatomy. The stapes presses against a membrane called the oval window, which is the gateway to the inner ear. The middle ear has two critical jobs. The first is amplification. The arrangement of these three tiny bones increases the force of the vibrations by about 20 times. This boost is essential to move the fluid inside the inner ear. The second job is protection. Two tiny muscles, the tensor tympani and the stapes, contract to dampen vibrations from excessively loud sounds, shielding the delicate inner ear from damage. The middle ear also regulates pressure. The eustachian tube connects this chamber to the back of your throat, ensuring the air pressure on both sides of the eardrum stays equal. This is why your ears pop when you re on an airplane or driving up a steep hill. It is your eustachian tube opening to balance the pressure. Next, we venture into the most complex and mysterious part of the ear, the inner ear, also called the labyrinth. This is a system of fluid-filled chambers and highly specialized sensory cells. It houses two major systems with two distinct functions, hearing and balance. Let's look at the cochlea, the organ of hearing. Shaped like a tiny snail shell, the cochlea is where sound vibrations are finally translated into a language the brain can understand. Inside, it's divided into three fluid-filled chambers. The magic happens in the middle chamber, inside a structure called the organ of Corti. This is home to thousands of microscopic hair cells, the true sensory receptors for sound. Here's how it all comes together. The stapes pushes on the oval window, creating pressure waves that travel through the fluid in the cochlea. These waves cause the fluid to move, which in turn bends the tiny hair-like projections on the hair cells. This bending action is a trigger, opening channels that generate electrical impulses. These impulses then travel along the auditory nerve, straight to the temporal lobe of your brain. And just like that, your brain interprets these signals as speech, music, a sudden noise, or a familiar voice. But the inner ear does more than just hear. It's also home to the vestibular system, our organ of balance. This system is made of 3 semicircular canals, plus 2 other structures called the utricle and saccule. The 3 semicircular canals are like tiny gyroscopes, positioned at right angles to each other. They detect rotational movements, like turning your head, spinning around, or tilting from side to side. The utricle and saccule, on the other hand, detect linear movement and gravity. They tell your brain if you're walking forward, riding in a car, or going up in an elevator. Just like the cochlea, each part of the vestibular system contains hair cells surrounded by fluid. As your head moves, the fluid shifts and bends these hair cells. This sends a constant stream of updates to your brain about your head's position and motion in space. It's an incredible system that allows you to walk, run, and stand without falling over. And this is precisely why problems with the inner ear can lead to dizziness, vertigo, and a loss of balance. So, what keeps this incredible organ running? Like any part of the body, it needs a steady supply of blood. The inner ear gets its blood mainly from the labyrinthine artery, a branch of an artery that supplies the brain. The outer and middle ear are supplied by branches from the external carotid artery in your neck. The ear is also intricately wired to the brain. The vestibular nerve is the main highway carrying information about hearing and balance. But other nerves are involved too, like the facial nerve, which controls the protective muscles in the middle ear. This complex network of nerves explains some strange phenomena. For example, an ear infection can sometimes cause facial weakness. And if you've ever coughed while cleaning your ear, you've triggered a reflex from the vagus nerve. Of course, this complex system can sometimes run into trouble. One of the most common issues is sensorineural hearing loss, which involves damage to the delicate hair cells, the cochlea, or the auditory nerve itself. This type of hearing loss is often permanent. Conductive hearing loss is different. It happens when there's a blockage or damage in the outer or middle ear, like wax buildup or fluid behind the eardrum. Fortunately, this is usually treatable. Then there's tinnitus, the perception of ringing or buzzing in the ears without any external sound. It's often caused by damaged or overstimulated hair cells. Vertigo, that disorienting spinning sensation, is usually caused by disturbances in the vestibular system, sometimes from tiny crystals becoming dislodged inside the inner ear. Otitis media, or a middle ear infection, is very common, especially in children, and barotrauma is damage caused by pressure imbalances, which affects divers and frequent flyers. The ear is so much more than just a tool for hearing. It profoundly influences our balance, our safety, our coordination, and even our emotional perception. It helps us navigate the world, learn, and communicate. Hearing connects us to other people, while balance grounds us in the physical world. When the ear's function is compromised, both our ability to communicate and our ability to move freely can be severely impacted. From the elegant folds of the pinna to the vibrating fluid of the cochlea, the ear is a true masterpiece of biological engineering. It transforms invisible vibrations in the air into the soundtrack of your life, and it stabilizes your entire body with every single step you take. This is the anatomy of the human ear, not just an organ, but a symphony. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more journeys inside the human body.